mineralocorticoids. The major one is aldosterone. Where does it act? Collecting duct. Here the aldosterone will act. Now what function it does, we'll study. Now this collecting duct has two type of cell, P cell and intercalated cell. Let's see this is the, let's say this is the lumen and the epithelium of connecting duct. So the orientation is like that. So this is the lumen of collecting duct, the epithelial cells which are P cells and intercalated cells. So this is epithelium, here is the lumen, this is the epithelium cells. Now we have the blood vessel over here. So now we have three channels, not three, four. The first one is ROMK, second one is INEC, third one is sodium potassium ATPase, and fourth one is hydrogen ATPase. So two ATPase over here, sodium potassium and hydrogen. What INEC does is from the lumen it takes sodium and water and put it inside this blood vessel. So from here it will take in the epithelial cells, and from here sodium potassium ATPase will throw this sodium, not water, sodium outside, and its name is sodium potassium ATPase. So it throws sodium in the blood and takes potassium. So the potassium comes in this cell, and the potassium is released out by ROMK channel. So we lost sodium from urine and we gained it in blood. So sodium and water are reabsorbed in our body or blood, while potassium is lost in the urine done from these channels, which is in the collecting duct. Now this H plus ATPase will throw sodium out, will throw what? Sorry, will throw H plus outside in the urine here. Done. So now how is all this happening? Let me, okay. So how are these pumps functioning? Or sodium is going in, water is going in, potassium is going out, hydrogen is going out. How is this happening? So we have a hormone for that, and that is aldosterone. Aldosterone will stimulate the receptors which are present on the cell membrane. This will stimulate H plus ATPase to release hydrogen in the lumen. So this was non-genomic action. Now we have a genomic action where aldosterone will be entering the cells and it will make a hormone receptor complex, and this will stimulate these receptors to do its job. So the function was same that I explained here, that the ions are moving, sodium and water is coming in your body, potassium and H plus are lost to urine. The function is same, but all this happens when there is aldosterone. So this is aldosterone receptor complex. Now whenever a hormone enters the cell and does something on the level of genetics, or genes are altered, it is a genomic action. While it is not entering the cell, so it's not obviously touching anything in the nucleus, so it's a non-genomic action. We'll study detail about it in upcoming chapters, but here you just have to know what's genomic and non-genomic action. Simple understanding. Done. We have two types of cell, P cell and intercalated cell, and four transporters, INEC, ROMK, sodium potassium ATPase, and H plus ATPase. So now we are saying that if increased aldosterone can do what? If aldosterone is increased, then all the function that I explained will be increased. So there will be more sodium and water in our blood, that will lead to cardiac overload or hypertension. More potassium H plus are excreted from blood, so we'll lose them. So in blood we'll have hypokalemia and alkalosis. Simple. If H plus is gone in urine, there is no H plus in urine, so urine is alkaline. And if potassium is lost from blood, see, the blood is inside our body, okay, so we are taking this as a reference. If potassium is gone from here to urine, it is hypokalemia in body. Hypokalemia means less potassium in our body. Done. So these are the effect of increased aldosterone. Three things you have to remember. What? Hypertension, hypokalemia and alkalosis. Just learn it. Hypertension, HTN, increases hypertension, hypokalemia, alkalosis. Done. So now all this was caused, see, these things were caused due to increased aldosterone. Now we are seeing how aldosterone is increased in our body. See, there can be two causes. First is that there is less fluid, or intercellular fluid is decreased, which stimulate the kidney to release renin, and renin in turn releases aldosterone from the adrenal glands. So aldosterone can be released when where there is increase in renin. So this is dependent on some organ, right? Aldosterone, adrenal gland cannot make aldosterone on its own, but whenever there is renin increase, the aldosterone is made. So this is secondary hyperandrosteronism. The problem is somewhere else. The problem is of kidney. He is releasing more renin, so it's secondary. While primary hyperandrosteronism is the problem in adrenal gland itself. The gland is swollen, the cells are increased, it has tumor, so the aldosterone is released more by these glands. There is no increase in renin. Renin is not telling it because the cells are more. There is a tumor, there is aldosterone increase, and this is primary hyperandrosteronism or adrenal tumor. Secondary was secondary to renin increase. Okay, done. So these are two types. Now we'll study it in more detail. In primary, what was happening was renin was low and aldosterone is high. Okay, so in primary, renin was low. It was not related to renin. Aldosterone was high because of adrenal adenoma. Adenoma is a tumor or bilateral adrenal hyperplasia. What is hyperplasia? Hyperplasia is increase in number of cells. If there are more cells, then they will secrete more aldosterone, right? So it's primary. Secondary is, let's say you have cardiac failure or liver failure or any disease which is decreasing the blood volume or extracellular fluid is decreased, then renin will come in action and it will increase aldosterone. So here both renin and aldosterone are high. So this was about. Now let's understand Cone syndrome. What's a Cone syndrome? Cone syndrome is excess aldosterone in blood. It's the same. It's hyperaldosteronism. It's Cone syndrome. So now hypertension, we have already studied that excess aldosterone in the blood can cause hypertension, hypokalemia and alkalosis. H plus is gone, K plus is gone, and hyper blood and sodium. Blood has more sodium and water, so hypertension is done. So now, but this hypertension is mild to moderate. You won't die with it. Why? Because there is no edema. Because there is aldosterone escape phenomena. We'll study about this in next slide. What is this? But you have to mug up this table that hypertension, it's mild to moderate in Cone syndrome and there is no edema, and because of aldosterone escape phenomena. We'll study, don't worry. Hypokalemia, the potassium is lost, so ions are lost, so there will be alteration in resting membrane potential of skeleton muscle. Skeleton muscle will become weak. So these are the symptoms. Now we are studying what's aldosterone escape phenomena. See, this is aldosterone escape phenomena. Whenever there is, let's say, excess aldosterone in blood, then sodium is reabsorbed. With it, water also comes in blood, so the intercellular fluid is increased and we have hypertension. We are reading it this way. So this hypertension, whenever it raises the blood pressure by little bit, 15 or 20, even if it raises, then obviously more blood is coming to right atrium, so right atrium is scratched. Right atrium is stretched. You can see the heart over here, and this stretched right atrium releases ANF. This ANF will remove sodium, remove water by pressure natriuresis and pressure diuresis. Sodium is gone, water is gone, problem solved. We're not having any blood pressure issues. So BP is restored and there is no edema. Why there is no edema? See, let's say this is the blood vessel. Now if there is increased fluid in this blood vessel, this fluid can go out and cause edema. But here ANF is removing sodium and water from these blood vessels. Fluid is not that increasing to cause edema. Done. It was a logical explanation. The heart was removing what? ANF. This is what aldosterone escape phenomena. Body is escaping from the effect of aldosterone. Aldosterone wants the body to suffer, but the body doesn't want to suffer. It gets ANF. So this was for today.